Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Married at First Sight All-Star Panel. Great to be here. We're going to have a lot to talk about. This episode was an exciting episode of Married at First Sight. So we get a lot of things popping here. Great to have Artika from August Love Story with us. Tommy will be joining us a little bit later. What's going on, Artika? How you doing today?
I'm taking it as a Sunday, slow and steady.
I definitely understand that. I know how that is. That's slow and steady. Hey, well, I had a great afternoon nap, so I'm excited and ready to talk about Married at First Sight. We energized. First Sunday afternoon nap I had in a long time. So, but I'm ready to talk about
I miss
marriage.
those so much.
Right.
I know. I hadn't had one in a minute, so I was like, "Yo, let me take a nap and get a little bit of rest. A little bit. Had a busy weekend. Let me get rested so we can talk about Married at First Sight because this episode is a lot to talk about. Let's start it with this couple here. Not too much on them this episode, but I want to talk a little bit about Stasha and Nate when they spell you their situation with babies and friends. So I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on Stasha and Nate from this week's Married at First Sight?
I found it interesting that Nate he didn't say it, but his friend said that Nate wanted to reach a certain financial status because he's thinking, what if he has to parent by himself? That's why he's a little bit hesitant on having kids and especially having kids so soon. And I remember during our review, I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, most of the time you do things out of the fear of what has been the circumstances surrounding you. So he's thinking, oh, my mom wasn't around. My dad had to parent me by himself. What if that happens to me? I got to protect myself essentially from that same thing. So I get it. Not a healthy outlook to have, in my opinion. But I can get how he came to that conclusion. Like his thought process behind how we got here makes sense. I think it's something that they're definitely going to have to work through since he has agreed to go to therapy. That's something they're going to have to work through together, or him working through on his own, and then possibly the two of them working through together to figure all of that out. But that's a part of the trauma that she's been asking him to open up about. Like, he keeps saying, I don't have anything to talk about with my mom. There's nothing there. And I'm like, there's obviously something there. If you're even thinking about kids and the fact that you have a wife and you don't want to potentially make kids with a wife because you might not be able to take care of this child the way that you see fit.
Yeah, I think that's a big issue. I think Nate has he talked about as you mentioned, the money situation,
Mm-hmm.
and the fear of leaving. And I think I said on our review is that his dad was so strenuous and so tough, and his lifestyle was so broken that that's one of the things that he's like, you know what? If I do have to raise a child of my own, I won't be broke. We ain't gonna be starving for no food. We ain't gonna be hurting for no money. We ain't gonna be hurting for school clothes. We ain't gonna be hurting for anything. I do like the fact that he had the nurturing side of him, that he's willing to fulfill that role, willing to take that role, because some men don't have that mindset, but he has the mindset. Look, I want to make sure I can take care of what I created,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the fear there. My only and the therapy thing is great. My fear is, can he handle the everyday life of being a single parent, or is he putting too much on Stasha thinking she's gonna leave him?
That's what I think.
I would think that you would be, before we. That's why I always think the baby discussion on Married First Sight is like ridiculous to me. It's mind
Yeah.
blowing to me. Because you're not even past the 8 weeks yet. So you're talking about all this baby stuff and all this other really life changing things. But you guys not even past 8 weeks. So I mean, you do want to know if this person able to want to have kids with you, but y'all don't even
Mm-hmm.
know each other with outside cameras and production and all this other stuff. Can you enjoy life before you even bring baby situation in? I think that's
I
one of
think
the things.
I agree with that. The only thing that I feel like you should be bringing up in this 8 weeks is, do you want kids?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
that's important to know if you're talking about a possible forever.
Right.
Yeah.
But outside of, do you want them, everything else is kind of, let's get to know each other before, because it might not even be that I like you enough to commit to even wanting to have kids with you.
Mm-hmm. But I like what you said, Artika, where he said, it's not an issue for him. But obviously, if that's like you're thinking, like, I want to make this amount of money just in case the same thing happens to me that happened to my dad, it is tremendously an issue, especially with most of the time you would think that way if you've seen that multiple times. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if in my family, like the women just leave and leave the daddies high and dry. If that's, most of the time you had that thinking, like, if it's a pattern. But if it's just your mama, the only person you saw, that's how you know it really affected you. It really did affect you as much as you say it didn't. Like, I feel like he's compartmentalized that. Like, when he says, I don't have any emotions about it, it's because you shut it off.
Mm-hmm.
But if you shut the emotions off, but you did not shut off the after effects, like you said, the trauma related to that. Anytime you look at it like, I'm going to be able to make sure I can take care of my kids in case the same thing happens again. I think that was like a good point, because you don't see people like do that all the time. I mean, and God knows there's plenty of single mothers out there, but they don't be like, let me make sure I make this job, get this job so I can make enough just in case he leave me. You know?
They're kind of like along the lines of, I have to do what I have to do.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I'm the only guy on here right now. So, I wait for time. Do you guys think he's setting himself up for failure because you got these thoughts in your mind that she may leave you? So when an argument comes or when situations arise that he's thinking, hey, you know what, this may not be a good person to have a kid with.
Mm-hmm. I think he is somewhat setting himself up. He's definitely going into it with a pessimistic outlook. And so he probably will look at it like that. Oh, it's like they do this in the movies. Oh, you gonna leave me now? And she like, no, I'm going to the store. Or no, I'm just mad. Or everything will be, oh, so you gonna leave me now? I can see him going to that extreme. And she like, no, it's normal. You do know married couples have disagreements or arguments. That doesn't mean we're going to get divorced right away. But that doesn't mean I'm going to leave. So I feel like he is setting himself up for failure. What you think, Artika?
I think he is as well. And it makes me also interested to know, was there ever I can't remember that he had a stepmother or anything like that, where he actually got to see a relationship play out in front of him where the two people stayed. Or was it that, his dad was just like, I'm not getting married again, or I'm not dating again, or I'm not going to get married, whatever the circumstances were. That just makes me wonder if that's a thing as well.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that might be. I don't remember them saying anything about stepmom, but I do know that military background, that being real strenuous, not having emotions, not having feelings, not having, dress right dress. You got to get over it real quickly. That really has set Nate in a bad way. Because again, you're gonna have to, because in this marriage, it comes down to trust. He's gonna have to trust Tasha, and she's gonna have to trust him. Yeah, I mean, as bad as she wants a baby, and because she wants a baby like tomorrow, right? She wants. I mean, you think about it. She's all into this, right? She's jumped in. I think she was an after party at one of those. I think on the show too. She said she changed her name, but she did stay on after party. She changed it like on day number 2, like before they even go to honeymoon. So this girl is she's all in. So she's put everything she got into this marriage, and so that's why she wants him to go to therapy. That's why she wanted him to get some of these things right, or some of these issues taken care of. I think with therapy he can get over this, but it's how much is he willing to commit to that, and how much is he willing to commit to her to know that she's not going to leave him.
Yeah,
that she's not going to leave him high and dry. That if they do have a kid and something does go south, that she's not going to go disappear and move across the country, right? That they can be able to live in the same area, same town, same situation, and be able to co-parent in that realm. Now, if they get to that part, if they get to that level, but I do know some, I know just me, when we had a baby, I think it brought us closer together. Not that we was far apart or anything else, it just brought us close together. Something about when a man has a child that brings him that much closer to the child and that much closer to the mother. in some instances that you don't want to leave. That you'll try to do everything, especially when you're married. You'll try to do everything you can to try to work it out if it can be worked out and if it can be salvaged.
Yeah,
So
because there's a
hopefully,
lot of people that stay together for kids, unfortunately.
Yep.
right,
Yep.
yeah, and so there's a lot of people. So hopefully Nate and Stasha can work that situation. That they the baby thing is not that much. They did have they did have a '70s party, which I thought was pretty cool. They look smooth together. Their afros and they really look like they could be related. I'm sorry.
They do.
They look like they can be. She might need to find out who her daddy is. I mean, he might her mom or something. Somebody need to find out something.
Hopefully at the wedding, her mama looked over and was like, nah, that ain't him.
Oh man, but yeah, anything else that caught your eye about Sasha and Nate from this episode? Wasn't much about them. It wasn't much on them. This episode. I mean, biggest thing was they was talking about the baby situation.
No, I don't think I put anything else in my notes about them. Just
Mm-mm.
that his friends did say that he was very agreeable about things. So I'm hoping that he doesn't become too overly agreeable about things with her because she has asked him to change a lot and
Yeah,
do a lot of things really quickly without really even getting to know who he was before she's asking, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? And not to say that some of the things are very small, like taking your shoes off when you walking in the house, but also giving the grace to know that that's not something that he did before you. So it's not going to be the first thing that he does when he walks in the house just because you said
Right.
so.
Right.
yeah. She did mention that she's giving him some leeway, especially because it's not their own place. That he
Mhm.
had some leeway a little bit about the shoes and the cleaning up. That he ain't filthy, but again, it's not her OCD self neither.
It makes me nervous though, because they're moving into her house.
Mm-hmm.
That always makes me nervous when a spouse gets married, whether it's man or woman, and you move into the other spouse's house.
Hmm.
That I mean, I've seen it, we've seen it that the other person get upset, get mad, be like, "You got to go,
Hmm.
you got to leave, you can't stay here. This is my house." That was weird. We I moved into her house, and we never had that conversation or discussion. But I did know like we were gonna get a house together once our family grew. So I think, but I've seen it on the other end where some people, families got in arguments, husband and wife got in an argument, and whether it was the husband or the wife told the person, "You got to get out. This is my house," and never wanted to put them on there. So I've seen it both ways. Just to feel for his safety and his comfortability, I would at least get my name on the lease,
Hmm.
and to cover yourself from that aspect of it. But again, depends on her and her posting up. So we don't know how she would be willing to put him on her lease, right? Or put him on the house, the deed of the house, or the mortgage of the house.
I doubt he's gonna be on the mortgage of the house. Not to go to another show, but I feel like it's gonna be like Real Housewives, Candy and Todd. This is my house. You can live in it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yes. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I remember when she told him that this is my house and you can live in it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we'll see. I mean, because how much then that to me questions how much leeway does he have to do different things within the home? To kind of create his own space. You know what I'm saying? Create his own movement, create his own room, create his own. How much space does he have to maneuver to find himself? Because you want to be comfortable in your own home. I
Mm-hmm.
know it's
Right.
somebody else. It's something you want to be comfortable in some space in your own home.
Well, that's something they'll have to discuss. That's something they'll have to discuss and figure out. So,
Yeah, that's something they got to work with. So well, only time will tell. But it was short with them on this week's episode of Married at First Sight with Sasha and
well, at
Nate.
least them by
Well,
themselves.
at least them by themselves. Let's go here. Let's go to Ben and Morgan.
Okay.
Ben and Morgan. What are your thoughts on Ben and Morgan? And God knows I'm tired of this nurse situation. I am so tired of this nurse situation. What are your thoughts?
Oh goodness. Um, I'm happy that the nurse part has been resolved. Like we know she's a nurse. We're beyond that. I did hate that she kept like trying to force him to have the conversation with the friends when they asked, well, what happened? Because it's like it's annoying when two people are going back and forth with well, you tell them what happened. And they're not saying anything. It's like, no, you can tell them. You can tell them. It's like somebody just tell me because I asked the question. Either say we're not going to talk about it or we are. And her basically getting, I don't really remember that we saw them truly get into the conversation outside of, he said I wasn't a nurse. He went and talked to somebody else. He's like, I overreacted. But they didn't like play out the full scenario for the friends. Um I don't really see Morgan moving past this. Even like, what is her friend's name? Carl. Carl was like, hey, you got to get over it. Her friend that talked to Ben was like, you're gonna have to just stop apologizing for her, because at this point she's just like looking for an apology again, because that's what you keep giving it. She's going to have to get over it. um Whatever it is between them, I don't think it's going to end up being resolved, because she's committed to holding the grudge, and no matter what he does, he's not going to be able to move past said grudge that she's committed to having. Sorry, Tommy just walked in. I was trying to see if he was about to sit down, but he is not.
I think the biggest thing for me, which you just touched on, is, oh my gosh, Morgan just keeps talking about these walls that she has up and how it's so hard for her to get past. And I've never worked through a deep issue. And I'm like, how did she get picked for Married at First Sight to a stranger? How? I they should not be picking people that got all these walls up. You need people that are flexible. Oh, look. You need people that are flexible coming into this kind of experiment where you don't know this person. And if you have major trust issues, if you got walls that you don't know how to take down, if you hold grudges, this is not the space for you. This ain't the space for you. Man, that bothered me bad. You know me, we talked about that. I was like, and to say it's almost like we talked about with Nate, like he didn't work through his issues with his mom. He's got a coping mechanism. I just feel like as a grown up, it should be some things that you've experienced that you were able to work through, not just you had that bump it attitude. Mm-hmm. Don't like you, don't like me, bump it. Forget it. I mean, that's gonna be a problem. And he's a get along kind of person. So he's gonna do what he said. He said, I just want to make her happy. I got her the flowers. I got her that what was it that the chicken. I got her the chicken sausage that she likes. I've apologized to grandma, auntie, best friend, the next door neighbor. I've apologized to everybody for what I did. I've been so over apologetic, it don't make me no sense. About to throw up.
Mortisa?
I know. Motisa. He from the Motisa tribe. I was like, and she's gonna run him ragged every time. Just like his friend said, when you gonna let him off the hook? I like to say it like, how I talk to somebody about, when you gonna take Jesus off the cross? He got to come off the cross eventually. You gonna keep crucifying Ben for that? Come on.
Look, if I'm bruh, and this is just from a man perspective, I'm done. If I'm Ben, I'm done. If I'm Ben, I'm done. I'm checked out.
I'm gonna keep kissing your tail.
I'm not gonna
keep. Not even just from the man, like me. I couldn't deal with that. Like, if you can't get past the fact that yes, okay, you feel like your privacy was violated. I get that. I've apologized. I've committed that I'm going to do better. However, you're not going to beat me over the head with it every chance you get.
Right. No, you're not. And then when I try to show affection, you giving me mixed signals. Yeah, do it. Don't do it. Show me affection. Don't show me affection. It's like you playing red light, green light. Go ahead and stop. Go ahead and stop. I'm not playing red light and green light in any relationship, right? She shouldn't be playing red light and green light. Shouldn't be playing all this other things that she's playing with his emotion. And again, what else does dude have to do, right? He shows you he's committed to this relationship. He messed up. Yes, I understand. You messed up, right? We all mess up in the marriages. This is what gets me about the show. No one comes on this show and have perfect marriages. There's no
Mm-mm.
perfect marriage on Married at First Sight. There's no perfect marriage, period, right? You're gonna have arguments in your marriage. I don't care how long you've been married. We've been married 20, going on 21 years. We still have disagreements. It's how you handle those disagreements in your marriage. I know these guys, they known each other for a few days. Okay, he broke your privacy. But guess what? Is there really privacy? You on TV, right? You're on a TV show, millions and millions of people are gonna watch it. Eventually, that conversation may come up. Eventually, this situation may come up. What really is the secret? So, I mean, to me, you're they're not gonna take you off the show at this point. You already invested in it. That's how my thought have been like, what they gonna do? Kick me off the show? I'm invested in it. What they gonna do? Not show our scenes? We already married. We are already on a honeymoon. They're not gonna delete us. So at this point, it don't even make a difference. They're not gonna what are they gonna make me pay some money back? No. You know what I'm saying? So all this that she's worried about is to me goes back to her dad and the trust issue there. She needs therapy. And she need to
Mm-hmm.
she needs some therapy. She needs some healing process to let it go. And Ben needs to keep doing what he's doing, but also put his foot down and tell her, look, enough's enough.
Mm-hmm.
At whatever point it is, enough's enough. I apologize. What else do you want me to do? All right. How can I chip away the walls? How
At
can
that point, it goes back to what Pastor Cal said. Who is responsible for the wall and letting the wall down?
right? He can't do this. It's her.
Let it down.
And for her to front him in front of all the friends, I didn't like that. You don't front your spouse. Not like that. And we'll get to the Alexis front and Justin too,
And I don't want to get into stereotypes too, but I'll just take it like from the health perspective. Like when it comes to health, like we had to learn this when it comes to like Asian type of families. They may or may not want to share the details of their health with their family members. They like to keep stuff to themselves. So I'm gonna attribute that to his background too. I'm not gonna put my family don't operate like that. And so he's like, what you want me to say? Like Artika said, just you want them to know, don't bring it back to me. Just say it. Yeah. Just say it.
And I know Married at First Sight does this, but some of these people that they're talking to not married or never even been married. Man. So they don't even know how to handle disagreement in marriage. They're going off their opinions, their thoughts, and their feelings. There's certain ways that you handle certain things in marriage. And that the way that she did it, I felt bad for Ben because I'd have been like, dog, what you talking about? Mm-hmm. I'd have told her, like, hey, if you want to say it so bad, why don't you say it?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, if you want to say it so bad, why don't you go ahead and tell her? You tell everybody. Tell the people. Let share your side of the story. So it's just one of those things with her. She needs to get over it. I think Carl was telling her the best, like, yo, break that junk down. Let it go. Let it go. And let it go and allow him to be your husband. Mm-hmm. If you, at the end of the week, 8 weeks, say no, then say no. But at least get a man a shot to be your husband. Mm-hmm. And if you don't give him a shot to be your husband, how can you say you really put everything into it?
Right.
She didn't put anything in it. Let him be your husband. You know, that's my biggest thing on that. Let him be your husband. Show, okay, it's over with. Let him be intimate with you, not intimate with you, but let him be affectionate with you and show some affection, and maybe you'll get over this.
Can I say this real quick? I see the question, why was it necessary for her to say anything about it in the first place? I think we were watching After Party, and I think Kristen said that. So, of course, the show wants them to bring this stuff up and involve their friends and family. And I think Kristen said on the After Party, like, I wouldn't even give that information.
Oh, Stasha.
Stasha. I wouldn't even give that information, but the show wants it so you have them involved. So that's why they bring it up partly. And maybe Morgan is the type that want to tell that stuff anyway. But I felt the same way. I was like that and Newton. If I hear about this daggone nursing degree and license one more again on this episode, and if I hear about Newton one more time, I'm gonna lose it.
It's like, I'm a nice person. If I heard that one more time. But anyway, we had a nice person. Tommy, what's up, man? Your thoughts on Ben and Morgan, brother?
What did my wife say? Let's see. Morgan is holding on to something that she needs to really let go. It's you can't move forward in a marriage if you're holding on to something like that, and it's so small. Like, nobody died, nobody was cheating. She feels disrespected in the moment. He apologized, and he's fighting to get to square one again. I think she's wasting a lot of time having these walls up and not truly giving him, like she even said it. She was like, he's not getting the real Morgan, and it's like it's your fault. Like it was so silly of a statement to me, because it's your fault he's not getting the Morgan. He's getting whatever you representing, and he's going to make his decision based off of what you put out there. So you only have 8 weeks to, at this point, I think they got 6 left, which is a month and 2 weeks. I look at Artika because I'm like, is it a month and 2 weeks? Yeah, it's a month and 2 weeks. But it's like it takes, you guys are trying to form a bond, build a relationship, and go off the experiences. That's an experience you had in the honeymoon. 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now, you can go back and be like, man, you remember we was finna get divorced based off of what happened at the honeymoon. Laugh about it now. But it's just a lot of time wasting. And then the information or the advice her friends gave to him for stop apologizing so much. Apologize for what you did and move on. I like, hey, move on, learn from the experience, and get better at whatever it is you're trying to get better at. And you know, I think they're wasting a lot of time for something that could possibly be good for both of them. But their focus, like her focus, is so much on, oh, he disrespected me 2 weeks ago, but it's 2 weeks ago. Like, let it go. So hopefully they can get past that and they can move on to whatever's next, or their next issue or something like that. I wish people would stop coming in here. I mean, not coming in here, but like going on Married at First Sight thinking everything's supposed to be perfect, because people that chose their partner, things aren't perfect out the gate. Like me and Artika was like, she got mad at me right before the wedding. Like, I was nervous the day before the wedding. Like, is everything okay? So
And I'll do it again.
but it's like, it's not gonna be perfect, but you have to have an open mindset to like be at least somewhat successful at this. So that's my take on them.
Yo, she got mad at me before the wedding too.
Man, I think it's just something that they, it's just in their DNA, man.
It might be in the DNA. I don't know. Maybe it's the pressure, Tommy. I don't know what it is, but I'm not gonna say what it was on here. I'll let you guys know after we finish. But she was mad at me. I remember what it was. I do. I don't know if she even remember. It's been so long ago.
I know exactly what happened and why she was mad at. I don't see a reason to be mad at a person for that, but I know why she was mad at me. So
yeah.
And I'll tell the rest of it after this.
Oh, you want to?
Wait, hold on. Maybe it's not what it. Maybe it's.
You might want to whisper in my ear before you say it alive. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, this is say. I'm glad you can say that.
Oh yeah. So hey, look, I had to make sure people right. Hold on, make sure you say the right thing.
I knew that's what it was. That's the only thing
Yeah, dog, man.
Because I felt like I was planning the wedding by myself. Particularly because my friend was like, well, you doing this and you doing that. What's he doing? I was like, yeah, what are you doing?
Dog, what you mean? What am I doing? There's a role I had. I played my role. I played my position, right? And I played my position well. You can't let people, again, back to them. You can't let people get in your ear. You can't let people get in your ear to make you mad at your spouse or your husband. And that's what happened with Morgan. There's been people getting in her ear, and there's been people allowing her to do that. And Ben messed up. He allowed Justin to get in his ear a little bit. But again, at a point in time, she got to let him forgive him. I think they need some tantric yoga, right? We haven't seen that. They need some tantric yoga. They need to connect with one another in some way, some affection and intimacy, and it may help their relationship because it will build that trust that she said she lost, right? Again, Ben just, from his standpoint, he just needs to be where he needs to be when he's supposed to be there, and she needs to, hey, you know what? Good job, Ben. I appreciate you. Thank you for being smart. But again, we've heard at the dinner on the honeymoon, she doesn't want a husband. She wants a companion. She wants somebody to be there to meet her needs, and she's not willing to meet nobody else's needs, in my opinion. She's not there willing to meet the needs.
No, I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, she's not willing there. But yeah, man, But yeah, she's too much. Anything else you got on Ben and Morgan? Because I'm tired of her.
Nah,
Really,
him buying that cheap tequila. I knew that wasn't gonna go out well. I was like, goodness, you can't do that, man.
yo, but see, that's again. I understand people who being thrifty. I'm a thrifty person. There's some things, and I'm not a drinker, but I guarantee there's some things you're gonna have to spend some money on and pay for. And
Mhm.
if he knew he wasn't a tequila drinker and he didn't like spending money, he should have just let her buy it. Even something that simple, right? Why you have two
Yep.
types of tequila? Something that simple shows, you know what, Morgan? I trust you to go buy, this tequila.
And that's the thing of experience, because a person that, as you see, they didn't know to like plan this party together, and who can, like, everybody can't shoot threes.
Hmm.
Somebody got to be down low and get the rebounds. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So they don't know how to work together in doing those things and delegating. Okay, well, I'll do this and you go do that. So it's those small things that they're missing, and I feel like a lot of the couples miss those things just because they're trying to find. If somebody said, like, what's your favorite color? They're trying to find out those things instead of really experiencing a person and really getting to know a person. Because I feel like I got to know Artika better in a crisis. I got to know her better, like, during her pregnancy. I got to this pregnancy, got to know her better. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I think they focus too much on the what's your name, what's your favorite color, what's your favorite food, and all those things. So
But that's why I think Stasha and Nate's working, because Stasha wants people to go deeper. She has gone to the point where she's getting deep into conversations and deep into life. Because again, I think she's gone into the mindset of this is what's gonna take place past 8 weeks. I'm in this for past 8 weeks. And now who else? Somebody else is like that too. They already talking about 8 weeks. So past the 8 weeks. But that's what Ben and Morgan may need to do. Couples may need to look at this. It's not just an experiment that I'm in this. Those who think about past 8 weeks are the ones I think are more successful when it comes to Married at First Sight, because they're looking beyond the 8 weeks and they connect it in that realm in that way.
definitely, I'm with you on that one.
Let's give this couple, because I don't think they might make it 8 weeks. Alexis and Justin. Alexis and Justin. You want to start? What's your thoughts? We'll let you start.
I already said part of it. Did I tell you Newton got attacked? Did I tell you Newton got attacked? Hey, lady across the street, Newton got attacked. Hey, you at the grocery store, did I tell you Newton got attacked? Well, he did. I was I understand that Newton's her baby. I really did. But I was just like, gosh, she is going to wear this in the ground. Wear this in the ground. And I felt like she needed to get up off of Justin a little bit for that too. I did appreciate the fact that when she talked to her sister Amber, she said, we came up with a plan. Is not just to give the dog away. He's going to give the dog to a friend of his, because that's a smart move. Because you could come to the 8 weeks and don't have no wife, no dog. We don't want that. At least he might still end up with a dog. But that was the thing with me, and just, oh my gosh, just how ugly. I don't know if I should say that yet, but we found out on the after party that it got so ugly with them, with Newton getting sick and not eating and throwing up blood or whatever, that when she went to the candy shop, like, they literally had not seen each other.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They hadn't talked to each other. Well, they talked to each other, but they had not been together.
She went
for
home
a couple of days.
Yeah, she went home after the big fight. But I think when she went home after the big fight was to get away from Justin. Again, Justin, I think Justin was wrong in the situation. I mean, a lot of people don't agree. I think Justin was wrong in the situation where I think Justin was like, hey, just because of the simple fact he knew how attached to this dog she is, and because the dog eye was scratched already, I'd have been like, you know what? I probably would have been a person, you know what? You take care of your own dog, because I don't want to mess anything up. But he should have been, again. This is my other problem with Justin, and I get back to the other one. He told her he was going to over communicate.
Yes.
Don't tell somebody what you're going to do in a relationship and you can't live up to that, and don't do it. He said, I'm going to over communicate, and again, he didn't do it. And so now he's playing a deficit, because again, she wants to know anything about Newton. Now, Justin could have been throwing up. Justin could have been pooping blood, and she could care less.
Could care less.
Could care less. But when it happened to her baby, her nephew, her son, her
Mm-hmm.
sister's nephew, she needed to know everything about Newton. She
Mm-hmm.
needs to know what Newton did today, where y'all walk Newton at, how do you take Newton to the doctor, how much food did Newton eat. She wants to know everything. Newton is literally like her baby.
Right. And I
So,
understand it. I do. That's
but
why.
yeah, understand. So that's what she's doing. If it was a child, this is I think this is what she's thinking. If it was a child, would you have told me about our child? And so that's where she's and
Or
I
not
think
even about our child. Okay, let's say it's a blended family.
right about my child. That's the way she's looking at it. I know it's a dog, but she's looking at it as a because she's already given him human qualities, right? Given a human person. So she's looking at it, and Justin's thinking about it. Well, I'm the daddy too. I'm the pappy. So I think I can take care of the situation. And so he couldn't take care of the situation. I don't think she would have ever known for me if Newton was pooping and not eating. I don't think I would have said nothing. That dog could have been been sick, and I wouldn't have said nothing.
No, no. I think me and you talked about this. Besides the over communicating, even if I hadn't said I was over communicating, I'm going to over communicate about this dog. I'm going to do that. Yeah.
She's about herself. She's a runner. She's a track star. She's about the dog and her, right? But I do like the fact that she's trying to get Justin to talk a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to see. I'm surprised, bruh. I'm surprised, bruh, ain't cried when they were having an argument. He was so.
We saw a different. Okay, we saw a different side of Justin. He gave her a little. He got a little swollen in the chest, Claude. He was a little swollen in the chest.
He like I ain't gonna give because you want to know why? I think he's playing for the cameras, bro. I'm just saying. When he thought the cameras off, Justin got a little bass in his voice. Like, hey, this is. Look, I don't know. Justin and Alexis, she's committed to the dog. I don't think she's committed to him. There's some issues. There's some issues going on, and he got to come. He's a backup quarterback. I told you he's walking on eggshells in that relationship. He's walking on eggshells and don't want to mess her up. You guys' thoughts on Justin and Alexis?
Did you know that Newton was attacked by Maya?
Wasn't expecting you to say that.
I think Alexis is using Newton as a reason to be upset with Justin about everything. I also think that Alexis dropped the ball on asking enough questions about her dog to her husband, because if she says this is her baby, and I don't have a dog. I haven't had a dog since I was like 16 years old. But I think that if something happened to one of my kids and Tommy was here, even though these are his kids as well, and Tommy was here taking care of these kids, and I knew that the baby needed to take medicine and they couldn't have medicine on an empty stomach, I would come home and be like, well, what did he eat today? Oh, he didn't finish all his food. We shouldn't be giving him the medicine if he didn't finish all his food. Like, I would be texting him those types of things throughout the day and then reiterating those same conversations, because you might have forgot to text me something between 3 o'clock and 3:17 because you might have given him something to eat. So I would have asked more questions. But also, if I was Justin, I would have been like, yo, dog, your problem. Don't ask me to do nothing, because this is a touchy spot for you, and I don't want to do anything to make this a touchy spot. So, two sides of it. I could see if I was either person, like how it would go for me, but she's looking for a reason to be upset with him about this dog, and I get it. It's a sore spot. Your baby got attacked. You are holding this against him, but it's really both of y'all fault because y'all did a terrible job with this introduction. You can go ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna start off by saying this is her out. This is the way that she gets out of this relationship at decision day. I guarantee it. Like if they don't make it to the or they make it to decision day and they say no, she's gonna bring up the fact that she didn't feel safe about this dog. Cause Newton is her child. Got attacked by Maya, yeah. Newton got attacked. Um Justin, I don't agree with how Justin handled this at all. Cause it's like, first off, you gonna overshare. That's just basic conversation. Like if like funny story. Lily got a tricycle for her birthday, right? So we'll take her outside. Me and Artika and Quad was outside, and Lily's on her tricycle. Lily falls off the tricycle into the grass. She cries, and then goes in the house. Later on that night, me and Artika talked about Lily falling off the tricycle and how we saw it happening. Common conversation. Like if I was just out there by myself, guess what? Lily fell off her tricycle. That's just a common conversation I'm going to have with the person that I'm in the relationship with, my wife, you know? And I don't understand how that don't come up. Like this dog it's eating half. Like I understand him understanding what was it, blood in the dog's poop. He saw the blood and understood what that meant, but that's still a conversation. You know, blood showed up in the dog poop. Like I've had this experience that with my dog, and it only was this. There's no reason that the dog don't eat for 2 days and they arguing about it. So that's what I don't agree with Justin about. But I also like Article was saying, Alexis should have been more like not so trusting of Justin because that's how Newton got attacked in the first place, because she was so trusting of Justin. And you know what I'm saying, and you don't want to say that about a person because that's her husband, quote unquote. But I mean, be a more responsible dog parent. And to Justin, it's like just have normal conversations. On the after part, I think Stasha was like, certain things aren't top of the mind. I get that part, but those are things that just happen, and you like normally the poop and blood doesn't normally happen. The dog not eating, that's something you notice. Like we notice, like if Lily eats more, and I hate to like compare Lily to a dog, but that's all I have right now. So it's like if Lily didn't eat anything, we're gonna talk about it. If Lily eats more than what she usually eat, we're gonna talk about it. Lily calls ice cream sandwiches bars, so we talked about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Justin, you're messing up because you're not having normal conversations with a person.
And also, why didn't she see that it was still food in the bowl? Because is he dumping the bowl when the dog doesn't eat? Like, there are so many things about this dog and this eating situation that I feel have holes in it that should not have ended in an argument. Because it's like if I came home, my dog wasn't eating, or I thought my dog was eating and there's still food in the bowl, I'm gonna be like, well, did the dog finish the food? Did you give more food? How long has this been sitting here? Like, there should just be better questions for your quote unquote baby.
Right.
And I feel like I'm holding this against her because she called this dog her baby, but you called it your baby. Treat it like a baby.
Yeah.
Like, do better in that regard.
Yeah.
The one thing I was reminded of, remember Justin works from home. So some of it is she's leaving it up to him, but some of it is like she has to because he's there and she's not. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna say that's what part of it is. So she's not like making him fully responsible, but he's at home, But again, while you at work, I know you busy and everything, but you can check back. Hey, I forgot to tell you, Newton can't have the medicine unless he has some food, Like Artika said, I'm checking in. Hey, Glenn, the kids, XYZ. Oh, I forgot to tell you, la-di-da. Tommy said, but when she get home, be like, Newton didn't eat for half the food. Right, but not that this is no extra information. This is just regular information.
But the problem was that she felt that he was hiding it because she asked him, and she thought he should have voluntarily gave the information.
And that's what Tommy said. Yeah.
He should have. So I'm just asking some people in the chat.
Yeah.
So he told her. She asked, and he was like, "Oh, by the way, this." But it's been 2 days. The problem was that it had gone for 2 days, and he hadn't said anything. And she was like, "Well, why didn't you say anything day one?" Well, it's a dog, right? I wouldn't be too concerned. I'm not saying that because I don't like dogs. But if the dog hadn't lost any weight, we had a dog. Our dog wouldn't eat everything that was in the bowl. She would eat some, come back, eat some and come back, eat some and come back. And if that bowl may eat that day or may not. May eat all of it, may not eat all of it. So I guess she was concerned because he used to eat all of it. But like they said on After Party, it's a new environment, new situation. Remember, Newton did get attacked, quote unquote. So the medication may not be setting with him. He may not like the food. I don't know how it goes. A lot of factors how you giving him. Because we had a dog that we had to get medication. We did the peanut butter trick. He licked the peanut butter and spit that medicine out. We put in the hot dog. He didn't like the. He would eat all the meat and spit the pill out. So I mean, again, it could be that he tried to put the medicine in the food, and now Newton's like, all right, you're not tricking me. So it's all that. I mean, it's not like he's sick because again, loose stool. The stool may be hard. Doesn't mean the dog got worms or anything like that. It's just those situations. I think the biggest issue is that he didn't say anything, and that he should have at least commented. But again, looking at it as a child, you say something about your child? It's just like Tommy said. I agree with Tommy. It's straight conversation. And by the way, Newton didn't eat today. Oh, okay. By the way, if he would have said that from day one, no harm, no foul. But for them to even then when they go to the party, she's sitting there like, oh, I can't even be fake. I can't even be fake. I got to tell you, we're not doing good.
Because Newton got attacked.
That is hilarious.
And that's how she said it. And did I tell you Newton got attacked?
Yeah.
I did want to say Justin acts like a child.
Yeah.
When she was questioning him. Instead of taking his time to answer, the questions that she asks and everything, he rushes to answer the question. I'm like, well, you're setting yourself up to be put in a situation where you can't get yourself out of if you can't think quick on your feet. She don't know that, but you do. And then he starts stuttering when she asks him about the dog. Like he knows where, oh, I messed up. I should have told her this. And then that causes the argument to get even more intense. And it's like, y'all arguing over something stupid that could have been avoided. And then also, it's nothing you can do about it at this point. You have to move forward in that. And like I said, man, that's her out. And Justin, he's messing up, like on some straight, like this is just normal things that happen in life, man. Like you would talk to people about that. I don't get how you planning to overshare if this is where you're struggling at, So
yeah, his communication skills when it comes to that is bad. He's a people pleaser, so he's gonna do whatever he needs to do to make her happy, and I want to say she's a realist. She's straightforward, and I don't know if he can handle her being straightforward. And I think with her being straightforward, it attacks him a little bit. But like I said, he's gonna have to stand up and be confident in who he is and what he does and move. Even on the after party when they brought it up, he cried. Like, come on, bro. And I'm like, after party, like months after this, you're watching it for the first time. You're bringing back emotions and you crying again over this situation, and you know how it ended. You know the results. You know how all this works out. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you watching it like us. You already know how the story ends, and you're still showing these emotions and being upset over this. Like y'all, as far as we know, they could have fixed it, and the rest of the 8 weeks are great. But you're still crying over this. And my thing is like, yo, like Jasmine and Michael, you don't want to waste time, right? And what Alexis is like, I'm not going to waste any time. Let's nip it in the bud and let's move on. And Justin is not really that type of person that he can move on that quickly because he feels like, oh man, I hurt her and I want to be pleased and I want to make her forgive me and I want to love. And guess what? Brian ain't getting none yet. So he's like, that's the part. Oh, that's it. I'm glad I said that. This is the part I want to bring up. Why she talking about that man having wet dreams in front of everybody?
Oh,
she broke.
Oh man, I missed that part.
When it was all at the table, because the conversation comes up, have we had sex? Have y'all had sex? You're like, nah. But Justin woke up the other morning. I was talking about his underwear was wet. He had a wet dream. First of all, help that man out. If that man in there having wet, I know y'all been arguing. I know y'all been having a conversation. Y'all been upset. But if he having wet dreams, that's a whole different avenue. And if he is having wet dreams, don't tell everybody. You just told millions of people that the dude you married with is having wet dreams. This junk is ridiculous, Tommy. Tommy, I would be hot, bro.
It's I wouldn't be mad. It happens,
But
you
she
know.
does too much just to tell everybody though.
But I'll be more upset about the fact that she ain't trying to, like I'm having a wet dream because it's like you laying right here naked or whatever. However, she's laying next to him. He ain't had none in a year, so it's like. But he messing up though, man. He's not doing he's not going in the right path to get to get GTD. But
Right.
it's I completely missed that part where she told who did she that was when they was sitting at the end of the episode. Wasn't
Yeah, at the end of the episode,
Yeah.
sitting around their round table, they was talking about that, and she was like, "Hey,
with the girls.
yeah."
Yeah.
And I think she does want everybody to know they're not doing anything. Which, I'm like Nate. If she was such a sexual person, why haven't she had sex with this dude yet?
She's looking for out. Like she's
Yeah.
that's it. She got her dog. Her dog got bit. That's gonna come up. He's not oversharing with her. That's gonna come up. We never had sex. That's gonna come up
Yep.
because he wasn't doing what he needed to do. So that's what I think.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree with that, man. That's where she holding out on him, but he'll let her kiss her, he'll let her hug her. They're real affectionate, all this and the other. Like he gets to the point, and it's like, nope.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to. I want to go back since we touched on it. I want to go back though.
Oh, go back to Nate.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now that was hilarious. So they're having this whole conversation, between the girls and the guys, and it comes up, consummating who's doing what, and Nate's like, "Nah, we haven't, but we definitely had dessert after dinner." And Justin was like,
He didn't get it.
"Huh?"
Yeah.
He was stuck like, "What's that?
What's that?"
I was like, "Oh my gosh." I mean, just figure. I don't think, even if I didn't know, I wouldn't have said it. He looked real stupid.
Mitch, like that's a main course. If those who don't know, it's poutine pie, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna go the Rock's term. Just Nate did favor for Stasha, and it sounded like
he said, "I'm a giver."
I'm a giver. It sounded like he gave.
It's better to give than receive.
Give than receive. So,
I don't. I was embarrassed for him when he was like, "What is he talking about?" I was like, "Bro, come on, man. You got either you like you're playing or you're like you shouldn't be married at this point. Like that's you're 33 and you're like, what is he talking about? Like, no, man. Like,
what are you talking about?
Like,
come on, read
I also think that's selfish of Stasha.
It is,
by the way.
Yeah, that's a whole different time.
Yeah.
That's a whole. We got a women audience. I think that's selfish by her too.
Look, I'm looking at it from a male's perspective. So it's
it might be a little bit selfish, but if he said, "I'm a giver," if he like to give it and he don't feel like he need to receive,
no, not even that. But he was giving so he can get.
Maybe he wasn't. We don't know this man. He might just like to do that.
But I think he was giving to get.
He said, "I'm a giver." That's what he said. So he might just he said, I just want to make sure you I just want to make sure you have a good time.
Man, we all have used that line before. Like, stop playing. I'm a giver. Yeah, but I'm expecting something in return.
He was planting seeds, so he was planting
maybe
seeds.
Maybe not that night, but later.
He was planting seeds so he can reap a harvest later.
Later, but not necessarily that night.
That's hilarious, man.
He was trying. He was trying, and it didn't work out.
Right.
It didn't work out for Nate that night. I'm gonna say that night because I'm gonna think she took care of him beforehand or whatever.
She might not play trombones.
I'm not even talking about playing trombones. I'm not even talking about that. Whatever the case may be, they just haven't consummated in the way we call consummation, right? They still had some type of sex anyway.
Okay, I just had to go back to that because you brought that conversation up.
Yeah, he was giving a get. He was giving a get. I'm sorry, he was giving to get, but then she didn't reciprocate.
Maybe.
But men look at it as okay, it is what it is, man. But one day you know, in the
And
future.
you know,
That's what I said. One
one
day.
day, and
One
Sharon,
day.
I agree with you. I was gonna bring that up too. Stasha says she wants to be in love. She want to make sure this thing's 100% because she said even when she was talking about Lindy earlier in past episodes that look, I'm not trying to just have sex to have sex. I want to make it important because I've done that before. I had sex just to have sex. So, um, you know, I want to do it for real.
Mhm. Okay, so who we want speaking to
Let's
that
go. Let's go to
conversation?
Mitch and Kristen.
Mitch and Kristen. Okay. What Tommy, you want to start with
Yeah,
them?
Tom, you start. Yeah, you start with Mitch and Kristen.
Uh, Let me check my notes real quick. Oh, Mitch. I really think Kristen is doing this relationship wrong. Because Mitch, I get being passionate about what you're doing, right? I get passions and everything like that. Um, oh, Article just text me. Um, but the issue that I have with Mitch is he's putting too much on her to be what he wants. Like, hey, the Jello shots part is what messed me up. Like, she got these plastic cups, and he was like, "No, take them back and get these metal things." And then the parties she was suggesting, he was like, "No, do this futuristic party." You know, she everything she suggested, he was like basically turned down. And I was like, Kristen, you have to. First off, this man called you ugly, and then you accepted it. Then it's like you're trying to be more for him. Like you're giving 110 and he's only giving 76%, you know, because that's all that's required from him. It's like you're so excited to be married, but you're not allowing him the opportunity to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And and all the kinks and stuff that he wants and does, but he's not required to know you. Like you telling him, and that's another thing too. I just thought about this. Her telling him about what happened to her last, like her being engaged and stuff. First off, when he was like, "Oh, that's weird," it was weird for her to be like, "I'm going to a wedding with no groom." That's weird. Nobody says that. You know what I'm saying? But his response to the whole thing was, okay, that's cool. You know, I liked his response and I'm glad he responded in that way. But I don't understand why she had like the dudes that she was telling this story to had such a problem because she didn't do anything wrong. Like she was being cheated on and she didn't marry a cheater. Like I think if anything, she did everything she was supposed to do correctly. You know, I just don't like the way that things are Mitch's way or no way. And it's kind of childish a little bit. I think that's all I have for them. Yeah. Oh, and he called her dog a useless creature. That was terrible.
Yeah, that dog did snore though, dog. I didn't like the fact I was laughing at the fact they was had the dog in the lap and listening to, and they just did joking and,
I was
and
like,
laughing on that
this
guy.
is terrible.
Oh, that's terrible.
This is terrible. But I said the same thing. Like Mitch's friend said, it was like, we're pretty extreme when it comes to environmentalist stuff and plastic stuff. And, it takes people time to get used to that. And I think Mitch wants her to jump automatically on the reduce, reuse, recycle extremist bandwagon in 17 days, 14 to 17 days. Like, calm down. Just calm down. Give me a minute. And he is not flexible about that at all. She is doing everything for him because I'm gonna say she does not want another failure. She's gonna, unfortunately, she's gonna keep doing it. She's gonna keep doing it. She's gonna keep appeasing him because she just glad to be in the service. I said that last week. She just glad to be in the service one more time. She gonna keep doing it, and I'm getting at what his sister-in-law said. He can be a jerk. I'm getting jerky vibes. I'm getting real jerky vibes, especially when, okay, so we're planning the party, and I gotta do your suggestion. We can't even do my suggestion, and I'll be darned, sir. We gonna have these Jello shots in these plastic cups. You just gonna have to be mad at me. And like we said on our review, I don't know about y'all grandmas. I don't know about your mamas, but we literally was just at my mama's house for her birthday party, and she's do not throw y'all plates in the trash. Do not put your utensils in the trash. We gonna put them in the sink and wash them. Mitch, you do know you can wash plastic, right? We can reuse the Jello shot glasses too. That just disturbed me so bad.
Again, he environmentalist. He doesn't do anything plastic, so him washing it is not gonna happen. It makes you wonder what he uses for a toothbrush. It makes you wonder what he uses for some utensils that come in plastic, right? I'm sure they do have steel toothbrushes and things of that nature, but it just makes you wonder. Mitch is again, he's very strong. He's really demanding about this lifestyle. This is lifestyle. It's fine. Um, I think when you have people that lifestyle, when they come on shows like this, you have to know that the person that you're gonna end up marrying may not have that lifestyle, that they come from a different walk, and so you have to be open with them and have to be allow them to be who they are. Even when her friend brought her to drink from Starbucks, he was like, "Oh, we don't allow that here." Whatever the case may be. So he was weird, and even the way he wanted to control the party, how he wanted to rent from a certain place where they can reuse the stuff, not buy stuff from Party City and throw it away. So what happens on birthdays, right? What happened when your kids have birthdays and they have when you start going down the line, or when she has a birthday? What do you do? You know how people talk about religion and gotta have be on the same page, but I think environmentally they gotta be on the same page. If this marriage works and they stay together, how they raise their kids is gonna be very important, and what they allow their kids to do, and how they allow their kids to play with certain things and deal with certain things and interact with certain things. But if she's compromising now just for the sake of marriage, she's gonna be compromising as long as they stay together. As long as they stay together, she's always gonna be compromising. At a certain point in level, she's gonna have to say, you know what, Mitch, I need you to compromise to me. These are some things I have to do. And again, back to her secret, that really wasn't a big secret. I mean, why did she feel like it was gonna break up their relationship? Why did she feel like he's not gonna love me? You did nothing wrong. The person left you.
Well, I don't think it was that so much. She was just like, and I'm like Tommy. I'm curious to know what people's reactions were to her when she said that, when she said it in the past, unless they went to the extreme, like, well, you had to have done something to make him cheat on you. You must have done something. Maybe that's what it was that she was getting. And she was like, I don't want that kind of judgment. Because I mean, it is some jerks out there. They might, say some stuff like that. But I don't know. And I wanted to say this too. This is the other thing, and I understand about being environmentally conscious, but like she said, she bought those 24 stainless steel shot glasses, which was way more expensive than what. Okay, so now we're gonna have financial conversation, because that stuff is more expensive. I understand, sir, but I don't want to spend that much money. Yeah. Then you spend your money.
But that's a whole different
thing. But she makes 3 times as much as him. He don't care nothing about it.
Nah. I dig it.
I typed it as a comment, but I'll say that Kristen's wedding, having to still go to Mexico, is why you get travel insurance. Like, that's just the bottom line on that one. That's an easy conversation to have as the other side of it after this fact now. But definitely, I'm wondering, why did they go get metal containers and not just like regular shot glass? Because you can go to like a gas station and get a San Diego shot glass for 99 cents. I mean, that's still gonna cost more, but that would have looked better than those metal like ketchup containers or condiment containers. I feel like Kristen is just gonna lose herself in this relationship, and it's not just him being an environmentalist part of it, but I think it's Mitch has to have it his way. And Mitch is I think I said it like in our maybe second or third review, that Mitch is presenting himself as the grumpy old man who's not going to change. And she's just conforming to the grumpy old man because he's, older than her. He's the oldest one on the show at this point. And he's just like, hey, this is how I would do things. And it's like, all right. And Jackie, you said that you went to, I don't know who house you said it was, but it was like wash the plastic stuff. Mitch not washing his legs and his feet. I can't expect him to be washing these plastic plates. I can't I can't see it.
Nah, yeah, you got that right. Mitch ain't washing nothing on himself. So.
This is not his legs nor his feet.
Mitch is washing every 3 days.
That's generous.
Conservative.
That is very generous of you, Tommy.
It's probably once a week. It's probably once a week.
If you go back to a couple of episodes when he laid in the bed and they showed his feet, the bottom of his feet was just black.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. I was gonna say I don't know how clean you can be getting them when you don't use washcloths anyway, but
you know what? Nope. Nope. Wrong for that. But he is, yeah, he is terrible. And again, she's losing herself. Her friends even said, I think she was on an after party and she said it. I didn't even feel like myself at my own party.
Right.
I my friends were like, "Where's Kristen at?" And her friends in that matter of 2 weeks recognized that she's not the same. That's crazy. It's just to be married for the sake of being married. But hey, we'll see.
It's sad.
We'll see. Hopefully they can get together. But let's move to this right here. This is the train wreck of the century.
I'm gonna get on this. I'm gonna get on this.
But that's why we're gonna let you go last. We're gonna start with somebody else. We'll let you go last. Now, manipulation at its finest. I think we'll start with you. Your thoughts on Miguel and Lindy about insurance and name change.
Man, so this insurance conversation, I'm gonna start off by saying I said this in our review. Tommy added me on his insurance as a domestic partner before we even got engaged. Like he cared that much about me changing jobs to a company that did not offer health insurance, even though they were lying to the government and saying that they were, but that's another story for another day. He added me to his health insurance because he was like, hey, you lost health insurance, you need to be covered. Great. The same way that you have a life-changing event like having a baby gets you health insurance, a marriage gets a person health insurance, and a divorce can take it away. It is literally not that serious. Okay, I'm gonna mute now.
Well, I'll just pick up. Yeah, it's like I don't think the first off, the conversation never should have came up. Not in no 2 weeks. Like me and Artika had been dating for a while. I knew Artika for a while and stuff like that. We was about to get engaged. So it only made sense to, she should not have insurance. You know what I'm saying? But Miguel, the stipulation doesn't make sense to me. I'll put you on my insurance if you change your last name to Santiago. That doesn't make sense to me. Just tell the truth. I think that's not the issue, for him. And her not seeing that, it's like I understand, like if you're so close to your name and I'm looking at it from a man's perspective in a marriage, I don't have to go through those things. But for her, it was I'm tied to my name. This is the name I've always had, hyphenated. If the stipulation was this, hey, change your last name, hyphenate your last name. But on the other side, you look at it from, because I'm trying to look at it from both perspectives, and I think both of them are conflicting with each other. Like I don't feel like this conversation should have came up 2 weeks into a marriage that you basically going through a trial period, of marriage. I don't think that's a fair conversation to the other person, but also I don't believe that he's being truthful with her as to why he's like, you got to change your last name. I think he found something that she didn't want to do, and if she does it, then it gives him another, you know, another out from doing it. So I just don't I don't know what it is, but I don't think that Miguel, I think he cares about her changing his last name, but changing her last name, but I don't think he is really considering past the 8 weeks, you know, and it's like, why would I put her on my insurance and then I don't make it past this 8 weeks? You know, and he's not really considering going past 8 weeks. He's, hey, I'm in it for a good time. I'm in it for a good time, not a long time. You know, and then just, you know, just be done with it after the 8 weeks, man. I just I think it's a conversation to have. It's also a conversation to wonder, like, how is it that you're like, why don't you have insurance? You know, from in the first place. I think also I don't think that's a reason to get mad, because it's like, it's not that I don't care about you. I have to pay for this. You know, it's not free that I can just add you onto it. Yeah, it's easy for me because I just have to make a phone call and add you because I have had a life changing event in my life, but I have to pay for it. We still in our trial period. I've only known you for 2 weeks. Um, Like, that's an unfair question. That's an unfair situation for Miguel to be put in. But also, looking at it from Lindsay's standpoint, she's looking out for herself because, hey, he got insurance and I'm gonna be here. Is basically what she's saying. I'm gonna be here, so go ahead and put me on the insurance so I can, you know, go to the doctor and stuff like that. But then it's like, why don't you have insurance as a responsible adult? Because she's, however old she is, don't they have the marketplace where you can afford insurance, or like where it's affordable now, or something like that? So you should have some type of basic insurance and not just out here with nothing, you know. Um, but yeah, I just feel like it was an unfair conversation for both of them to have, and I don't feel like Miguel is being truthful to her about the response to it. So
Oh, I still gotta go last.
Oh yeah, I go first.
No,
No, go ahead.
let me right there.
Go ahead. I'll let you go.
Let me right there. Because somebody said in the comments the same thing I was thinking too. Remember, Miguel's sister's concern is him having to take care of somebody, that being financially responsible, them sucking him financially. And here you go asking me about putting you. Why is that your first thing? You put me on your insurance. Can you put me on your insurance? I want you to put me on your insurance. Like, I used to work for the insurance company. Like, I'm gonna do a little education here. Artika and Tommy touched on it. You don't have to wait for open enrollment when you have a life-changing event. Marriage, divorce, birth of a child, all that. You could do that in the middle of the year. Yes, I can add you on. I think Tommy touched on this. I think his thing is, so you want me to add you to possibly take you off in 8 weeks and have HR looking at me like I'm stupid, but you just put her on there. Yes, can you please take her off my insurance, please, ma'am? I don't want her on there no more. And they be like, what? It almost look kind of silly. They like, but you, how many changes you want us to make, man? The other thing, she's a healthcare provider. I'm confused.
Independent contractor.
But she's a healthcare provider. Why you don't have health insurance? I said that they got the health care marketplace. They got the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, whatever you want to call it. They took the stipulations off for pre-existing conditions. It's expensive. Guess what? It's expensive if you get a family plan, you plus your spouse plan through your employer. It's going to be more out of your paycheck every 2 weeks. If I get it on my own, it's expensive. You cannot, I said this in our review, and I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to get off my soapbox. People of the world, people in this chat, you cannot afford not to have no insurance unless you are Bill Gates, unless you are Elon Musk. You know, when you make a whole lot of money, where if you get a $10,000 bill, you could just pay it outright. Otherwise, you need health insurance. You get insurance for your car, don't you? Get insurance for your body. I'm so confused. I don't understand. It reminded me of Katie and Derek. You putting her, she had the diabetes, little redhead chick. She had the diabetes. Let me put you on my insurance. Okay. And then he had to turn around and take her off. He did that out of the kindness of his heart. In this case, Lindy is begging for it. So what, you ain't been to the doctor? You ain't been to the doctor. And you're a physical therapist with a doctorate. That is so suspicious to me. I'm sorry. That's fishy to me. That's fishy to me. You're a healthcare provider. Why you don't have insurance? Now, when it comes to the last name, that's a bit much too. We could talk about it in the long run. Her taking the last name. That shouldn't be a stipulation for me to put you on my healthcare insurance, my insurance. But at the same time, I shouldn't have to put you on it necessarily.
Professionally, she can still rock her LOA, right? And it took me a long time what she was saying.
Yeah,
I thought you said LA.
Yeah, we was like leave of absence, LOA. I was like, what she got LOA for?
Yeah, but again, professionally, when you get married, you can still rock your last name.
Absolutely.
She has her, because she's known as Dr. LOA, right? Or whatever case may be. Rock your last name, take his last name. But don't make it a stipulation that if you do this, I'll do this. But again, this is what made me like, she's stupid. This is the same. Sorry, she told me not to use that word stupid. Sorry.
No, I didn't say that.
She's not very intelligent. This is the same guy who's been telling you for the last 2 weeks that he's not sure. He tried to wait till the last 8 weeks. He told you that. Then you gave him some draws, right? He got some draws, and now he gave him some draws. Now you think you're entitled to insurance. Where were your insurance at beforehand, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Again, let's go back. She has all this student loan. I guarantee you she couldn't afford the insurance, whether it's whatever case may be. Because remember, the sister's like, how much insurance you got? I mean, how much debt you have? Mm-hmm. So she has this much of debt. So her debt payment, which in this case, hey, let's be honest, this was filmed during pandemic, so she shouldn't be paying student loans anyway. She right now they're on forbearance, right? So she should have got insurance, or whoever you work for as a physical therapist, go find a physical therapist office that has insurance, so you can go get seen. To me, at this age, what health conditions do you have that you don't know about? You can have something going on with you that you don't know what's going on. So it goes to maturity. It goes to being able to realize and understand what I need to do to take care of myself and not rely on him. Mm-hmm. So if you do get on his insurance right now, right? In 8 weeks, he said, you know what, I don't want you. And in the 9th week, he takes you off. Is she allowed to get COBRA after that and to be on COBRA?
You think regular insurance is expensive? Don't get no COBRA. Don't get COBRA. Oh my God, that's gonna be.
I am here to tell you, don't get COBRA, because I had to have COBRA for 1 month when Tommy changed jobs during this pregnancy. It is expensive.
You ain't have to pay for it though.
Doesn't matter. It is expensive. It came out of the household budget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I saw your comment too. That's what we talked about too. I think she might be diabetic, which again goes to, why don't you have insurance? Why you don't have no insurance? So you ain't been taking your insulin the whole time until now? Now you want some insulin. Oh, now you want to regulate your blood sugar? Now, okay.
Yeah, but you can't. My thing is the demand, and she's getting mad. She's dropping F-bombs, and you're demanding. Oh, you want me to take your last name? Then I take your insurance. Well, you give me some draw. I mean, it's like whatever.
We know contract employees don't get benefits again, but
I understand that I'm a contract employee.
He is, but you can listen. When I first graduated from college, while I was in college, my brother's in the chat. We had an individual Blue Cross and Blue Shield policy because our parents are older, they're retired. So we had our own individual policy that our names on. You don't have to have no benefits from your job. You, especially now, again, Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, just go get it. Get your car insurance, life insurance, health insurance. Get them 3, please. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, and stop using GoFundMe's. That's a whole different. That's a whole different conversation. I get on that soapbox. We as people shouldn't be using GoFundMe's anyway. But anyway, that's a whole different level. That when somebody bury, you gotta get a GoFundMe. You got Gucci, you got Prada,
Okay.
you got all this, but you can't bury grandma. But anyway.
But yeah, I all in all though, it wasn't fair for him to say, if you do this, I'll do that. Like you said, Tommy, you did it for Artika because out of the kindness of your heart and because y'all was connected. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, she didn't have to do nothing for it. You knew she needed it. Let me do this. But I think that's a bit much to be asking him, and it's a bit much to be asking her. We're not taking your last name. We can have a conversation, but I'm not necessarily going to take your last name right now.
But Tommy, Artika, let me ask you guys this, and this is what confuses me. Coming into this show, I would think I don't say contestants, the participants would know that it may be the person may want me to take their last name. To me, this wouldn't be a surprise or a shock. I mean, what you guys think?
I don't think that. Like I said, I don't believe that taking the last. I don't think that's a big deal because majority of women that get married either hyphenate their name or they change their name completely. Coming into it, I would expect that somebody would coming into it. I don't understand why you haven't thought about that. I'm going to possibly have to change my name or hyphenate my name. If I don't want to, that's a conversation to have. Now, getting to Miguel, I don't believe that that's why he don't want to put her on the insurance. And if it is, that's a dumb reason why. So it's be truthful with her about your reasoning, but also don't put him in that situation. You're so connected with your last name, but didn't you expect when you get married, something has to change because if you have children, the kids gonna have that your husband's last name. So it's would it it just doesn't match. The things don't match each other. So I just feel like it's really silly. This whole the fact that they really got into an argument about insurance and name changes. Two things that probably will happen if you guys stay together. So
Agree. I think that if more men had to change their last name, it wouldn't happen. However, I think
it wouldn't.
that I know it wouldn't. I do believe that you just go into the situation thinking, hey, at some point I'm gonna change my name. I was a person who didn't hyphenate my name, but I made my maiden name my middle name, so I kept it. But I don't even have that much of an attachment to my last name. And I have more of an attachment to my first name. That's my family name. But I get it, but you can keep your last name in a way. Like your last name can always be Elaway hyphen Santiago. Like that's still taking his last name. I just, like Tommy said, that was just I'm gonna find another way to tell you that I'm not gonna do this. So let me make a big deal out of something else. So you want insurance? You don't want to change your name. Can't do it. So it's just a point of contention for them, and they're just making up a reason to not give in to what the other person wants.
Yeah, and he finally gave in for whatever reason, but she cussed him, and he didn't get mad. And I give my man credit because he took that like a soldier on his chin because he ain't said a word. He didn't get upset. He didn't get mad, but she just cussed him.
That's his out.
Yeah,
they looking for it. They all looking for it.
I mean,
out.
He looking for out. And my thing is with her is, I guess the $1 million question everybody asking, we all want to know, why didn't you have it, and what's the sense of urgency now? Like, what's the sense of urgency now to get it, right? And Lord forbid, if she pop on here like 2 weeks later, I gotta get surgery. We know why you needed. We know why you needed insurance so bad, because have they even combined it? You want insurance, and y'all haven't even combined your money together yet.
Y'all haven't even had the conversation about money yet.
Nope.
Because we haven't seen the conversation about money yet.
Right.
Right.
It's like, how you want him to pay for your insurance, and you like that's unfair.
It is.
Why didn't the sister come to the party? That would have been a great time to have the sister at the party.
Side note, you know who wasn't at Nate and Stasha's party? Morgan.
Megan.
Is it Morgan or Megan?
Megan.
Megan.
Yeah, Megan wasn't there, so
I said
there's
the
that.
same. I said the same thing. Like, why? How come Megan didn't come?
Right.
Right.
Why she ain't
But
come?
think about it. She was at everything else. She was on the pre-show. She was at
Yep.
the wedding. Now it comes to this party. He just brings the boys. He don't. You know why? Because she was like, you know what? Don't bring that girl. You
Right.
better not, you bet not bring that. She bet not come. 'Cause, yo, talking about, we would have had a lot more to talk about if she'd have showed up.
Oh man. Yep.
She'd
That
have
would not have
been looking at Nate. Oh, this is so nice. This
Right.
is cool. Y'all live here. She'd have been sitting next to him. Oh, you want to have babies? Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna make you have babies.
That's hilarious, man.
She'd have asked.
It's freaking
Hey,
hilarious.
look, Megan is smart. She is staying away.
She better.
She knows what's good for her. She better stay
Right.
away. Don't let Stasha's stilettos and that nice look fool you. She got a little hood in there in her. You better stay away from her man. Oh man. But man, I think that's it. That's everybody.
Yeah,
I
that's
think so.
everybody.
That's everybody. That's good. Oh man. Closing thoughts, Tommy. Anything else you want on any of these couples before we get up out of here?
Let's see. Morgan needs to let it go. Let it go. Kristen needs to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I didn't get a chance to talk about Stasha and Nate, but Nate licked her lady parts, and
You been waiting a long time
Yeah.
to say that, haven't you?
I have. It was like, look, I'm looking through my notes, and I'm like,
you missed that whole conversation, Artiga. We talked about that. I don't know.
No, I heard y'all. I
Okay.
had it pulled up on my other screen.
oh, I know what I wanted to say. It makes sense now that Nate is not as open as he is with Stasha as she wants him to be, because he's not a very open person. He's literally giving her everything he got as far as like opening up to her. And him being so agreeable to like try new things, I think that's gonna help them out a lot moving forward in their relationship. Who else we got? Alexis and Justin. Her out is with the dog situation, and I don't think she likes Justin that much. But Justin is way too passive, I think, in the sense of not really understanding what he's getting into as far as like having a conversation with her about things. And he's making rookie mistakes that he just got to learn from. And then Lindy and Miguel, man, they have the dumbest things. Like insurance and last names are two things that should wait. If somebody's gonna change their last name, they just do it on their own merit. Like I think me and Artika talked about it once, and it was big for Artika because she was like, everybody in the house got the same last name, you know. But like I feel like those are conversations. The stipulation doesn't match the request with the insurance thing, and Miguel's gonna make it 8 weeks and be done. I think that her cussing him is his way out of the marriage, because he was like, I don't like that, calmly. You know, so
yeah. I think you got any closing thoughts?
Much like Jackie, I hope that we don't have to hear about Newton anymore. I'm sick of him and all the things that come along with him. I am interested to see if Lindy and Miguel can get past that conversation. Highly doubt it, but interested to see. And Stasha and Nate, I want to see him open up a bit more about I feel like it's an issue of abandonment, but that's me putting a spin on it, but open up more about his mom and all of that, which I don't know if he will on camera. It may be something that they're talking through on the side, but definitely I think it's something that they need to talk about. What other couples are there? Morgan just needs to go ahead and be honest with being that this not gonna work. And let's just play the game for the next 6 weeks, because it's just getting annoying now hearing that she got all these issues. And I think that's pretty much it for me. And did I miss a couple? I feel like I did.
No, you good.
Okay. Oh, Kristen and Mitch.
Oh yes.
Poor Kristen. And I'm just like, I want to know, is he bathing after they get done? Because she said they were consummating like rabbits. I just want to know, is there a bath after they get finished? Like, that's probably why she said they need to take a bath together. That was it. It just hit me.
I ejaculate using any protection, because isn't that made of rubber?
Lambskin.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it ain't.
It's like lambs.
They call them that, but it's not made of that.
Oh.
There has to be like an environmentally friendly contraceptive.
It has to be.
What is it?
Lambskin?
That's what I'm saying. It's just the lambskin. But then he don't want. Now we made that joke on our thing. So he don't want to put it in the trash.
I don't look.
I don't know if that's something you can recycle. That makes me nervous and uncomfortable.
That's what I said. That's what I said. We went to college with somebody that was rinsing them out. So I do not recommend.
That is disgusting.
I do not recommend.
That's disgusting.
That's why they had a baby together.
I do not recommend. That's a true story.
Can you imagine catching him in the action of cleaning the bottom? What you doing, man?
Oh yeah, they did. He did. He took the ones out of the room. He did.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to understand. How does that play into the environmentalist?
You don't care about that.
But you care about shot glasses.
Look, you care about that. Oh man.
I don't have nothing.
You don't have nothing?
I don't have nothing else.
Me neither. I'm good. Make sure y'all.
But I know my brother wasn't on here earlier, so did you know that Newton got attacked?
He don't watch. You know he don't watch this. Hey, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification, not only to us, but to August Love Story as well. Check out their new podcast that they put out this week. It was great. Check it out. Go there and make sure you subscribe on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcast. Make sure you subscribe to August Love Story podcast. Also, make sure you subscribe to their channel. If they got their membership, join there as well. Hey, look, we're having fun with you guys each and every week. So if you're in the chat now, make sure you hit the like button on this so we can continue to bring you guys great videos. Also, check out TalisaRay.com and get her journal as well. And you can also go over there. I think today is her birthday. So go over there to TalisaRay.com and give her a birthday shout out as well. So just want to tell you, thank you guys. Continue watching Married at First Sight, and we'll continue putting out great content for you each and every week. See you guys next week. Once again, the chat was lit, and we thank you very much for all that joined us. Have a great night.
Newton got attacked.
Lisa's gonna be on our podcast this week. So
who is?
Talisa.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Y'all gonna have to check that out.
Check out the podcast this week. Talisa Ray will be on their podcast. You'll learn some great things this week. Please check it out. Have a great night.
Bye, y'all.